I don't need you fighting. My battle, she muttered, pulling her hand away like it burned. And not fighting for you, Drake said, voice softer. Now I'm standing with you. The words slipped past her defenses, lodging somewhere deep inside. Don't fall for this, don't. And yet there it was. That pull, that maddening, so deep connection that refused to be ignored. You two have issues, Liam commented, watching them with amusement. 10 results, sexual tension, mate bond drama. It's like a soap opera. They should get popcorn. Bonnie shot him a glare. Shut up, Liam, he winked. Still love me. In your dreams. Oh, definitely in my dreams. Drake sighed. Why do I put up with you? Because I'm charming, Liam said. And you secretly enjoy my company. Bonnie shook her head, lips twitching despite herself. Thought they're both impossible. And yet standing there between them, Drake with his unwavering intensity, Liam with his teasing warmth. She felt something she hadn't in a long time. Conflicted, drawn alive. Her wolf stretched lazily inside her content. Traitor, she thought again, but this time without much heat. Again, Drake asked, stepping back into position. Bonnie smirked. Bring it. And as they launched into another round, punches thrown, jabs exchanged, words and otherwise, one thing was clear. This wasn't just training anymore. It was something so much more. Chapter 3, Hidden Truths and Living Lies. Bonnie wiped sweat from her brow. Breath coming in short bursts. As she squared up against Liam, his grin was infuriating. Wide, cocky, and far too confident for someone who'd been knocked on his ass 3 times. Already, not that he seemed to mind. If anything, it just spurred him on. You're slowing down, sweetheart, Liam teased, circling her like a predator that thought it was clever. Age catching up to you. I'm 2 months younger than you. She shot back, rolling her shoulders. Then you wished I was slowing down, he winked. Hey, you guy. And dream. Across the training ground, Drake stood with his arms crossed, his gaze sharp as a blade. His jaw was tight, the muscle there, clicking in time with the sparring match, and Bonnie could practically feel the possessive energy radiating off him. He hadn't said a word, but his eyes, oh those eyes, tracked every movement she and Liam made, like he was seconds away from stepping in and putting an end to it. Good, let him stew. Not her fault. The mate bond turned him into a territorial caveman. Liam lunged, fast and fluid. Bonnie twisted, dodging at the last second, her body responding on instinct. Her limbs tangled for a breathless moment. Hot skin, quick breaths before she spun, hooking her leg behind his and sending him sprawling into the dirt. It hit the ground with an OOF, blinking up at the sky. Damn, I love it when you play rough. Bonnie laughed, breathless. You just love getting beat. Only by you, darling. Drake's growl cut through the air. Bonnie glanced at him, arching a brow. Problem. His gaze darkened. This isn't flirting practice. Who said it was? Liam grinned, brushing dirt from his pants as he stood. Though if you're jealous, Drake, you could always join in. 3-way spar could be fun, Liam. Drake's voice dropped to a warning growl. Keep talking and you'll regret it. Oh, I regret nothing, Liam quipped and phased. Besides, someone needs to keep things interesting. Bonnie shook her head, boys. Her wolf, however, was more amused than annoyed. Both males were magnetic in their own way. Liam with his reckless charm, Drake with his brooding intensity. And it was complicated and confusing and infuriatingly attractive. Not that she'd admit that out loud ever. Liam's stretched muscles rippling under his shirt. Round for Bonnie smirked. Only if you like eating dirt again. Oh, I do, you have no idea, he winked. Drake's growl deepened. You're done, he snapped at Liam. Jealousy doesn't suit you, Alpha, Liam said cheerfully. But he threw up his hands. Fine, I'm done. He flashed Bonnie a grin. Brain check on getting passed around in your dreams. she said every damn night. With that, he sauntered off whistling. Bonnie turned to Drake, still catching her breath. His gaze roamed over her, lingering too long, and he prickled at her skin. What, she demanded. You push yourself too hard, he said, voice low. You're exhausted. I'm fine, you'd say that if you were bleeding out. Why do you care? His jaw clenched. You know why the bond. That ever-present pull between them hugged at her heart, making her chest tight. She looked away. This doesn't change anything. It changes everything, he said softly. And damn it, part of her wanted to believe him. Later, after she'd cleaned up and downed half a canteen of water, Honey wandered toward the PAX Central area. Laughter drifted through the air like carefree, and she found herself drawn toward the sound. The group of blood-fanged pups played in an open field, crawling in the grass, tails wagging. One little girl, probably no older than 6, chased a butterfly. Her giggles infectious. Another pair tumbled together, mock fighting with clumsy growls that wouldn't scare a mouse. Bonnie's chest softened. Innocent, happy, not the product of some monstrous pack she'd imagined. Her gaze lingered on a small boy, sitting alone under a tree, knees pulled to his chest. His big brown eyes were wary, watching the others but not joining in. Without thinking, Bonnie crouched beside him. Hey, buddy, startled but didn't move away. Progress, what's your name? She asked gently. Ally, he whispered. You not playing with the others, Eli. He shrugged. They're faster. Bonnie smiled. Bet you're stronger. That earned a tiny proud nod. Tell you what, she said, glancing at the pups rustling nearby. You want to team up? I could use a partner. His eyes widened. Really, she winked, but fair warning. I'm pretty awesome at tag. Eli's grin lit up his whole face. Let's get him. They charged into the fray. Bonnie laughing as pups shrieked with delight scattering. For a few blissful minutes, the weight of mate bonds and politics melted away. It was just her, the kids, and pure uncomplicated joy. Then a soft voice said, Didn't peg you for the nurturing type. Bonnie turned. Drake stood a few feet away, watching her, with an expression she couldn't quite read. His arms were crossed, but his eyes, there was warmth there. Something that tugged at her chest. They're kids, she said, brushing a blade of grass from her hair. Or not to like them. Drake's gaze shifted to Eli, who now clung to Bonnie's leg, like she was some kind of superhero. The alpha crouched beside them. Eli stiffened. Query again, hey kid, Drake said quietly. You're doing okay? Eli hesitated, then nodded. Drake's expression softened. In a way Bonnie didn't expect. How could a man capable of leading warriors into battle look so gentle? He reached out, ruffling Eli's hair. You're tougher than you think. The boy beamed. Honey's heart twisted. This isn't what I expected, not from him. Not from this place. Her mind screamed enemy, but her eyes, her heart, saw something else entirely. How do you do that? She asked quietly as Eli ran off to rejoin the pups. Do what make people trust you. He glanced at her, a faint smile tugging at his lips. Maybe you're not as immune as you think. Bonnie rolled her eyes. I couldn't stop the warmth curling in her chest. The forest was quiet. To quiet that eerie kind of stillness. Hat prick led against Bonnie's skin. Echo warning whispered on the wind. Blood fang. Pups had been ushered back to the main pack house. Warriors on edge. Sense of tension and anticipation thick in the air. Bonnie stood beside Drake near the outer perimeter. No. Hair. Muscles, tight, senses straining for something. Anything to explain the sudden hush that had blanketed the territory. This feels wrong, she said, scanning the tree line. Tacom agreed. Drake's voice was low, but every inch of him was coiled. Ready, his gaze swept over the trees, sharp and focused. Stay close, I can handle myself. A low growl cut through the silence. Bonnie's wolf surged to the surface, just as rogue wolves burst from the shadows. Teeth bared, claws flashing. Eyes exploded around them. Shouts, snarls, the crack of bodies colliding. Drake lunged into the fray with lethal precision, taking down two rogues with swift, brutal efficiency. Bonnie spun, ducking and attacking, slamming her fist into the rogue's jaw, her body moving on pure instinct. Her wolf sang with the thrill of battle. There was no time to revel in it. This wasn't a game, this was survival. A flash of movement, a fast she turned too late. A rogue lunged for her throat, until another figure tackled it from the side, sending it sprawling. Bonnie's heart stuttered as the newcomer straightened, face partially obscured by the shadows and the mess of the fight. No. But the scent hit her. Familiar, impossible, heart-wrenching. Bonnie, the figure said, voice rough but unmistakable. It's me. Her world tilted. Everything, the battle, the noise fell away. She could hear her heartbeat pounding in her ears. Rah! See the face she grieved, the brother she'd mourned. Rowan, her voice cracked, disbelief flooding her. It can't be, but it was her brother alive, standing right in front of her, and she couldn't move, couldn't breathe. Words failed her. Her throat closed up. Ears pricked her eyes, but she fought them back. Focus later, process later. Rowan glanced at the remaining rogues. Still battling the Bloodfang warriors. We need to move now. Bonnie didn't question him. Not yet, later. She darted after him, right covering their flank, as they retreated to a safer spot, deeper into the trees. Only when the sounds of battle faded did Bonnie whirl on her brother, emotions slamming into her all at once. Relief, anger, confusion, betrayal. You're alive, her voice wavered. You were. What the hell, Rowan? You let me believe you were dead. Rowan grimaced. I didn't have a choice. Hey, bullshit, she snapped. You died, I mourned you. I grieved, and you were just what, playing secret agent. Rowan ran a hand through his hair, looking older than she remembered, tired. It wasn't that simple. No, you think it wasn't simple. You made it complicated, Bonnie. Drake's voice cut through steady grounding. She shot him a glare. Not now, Rowan held up his hands. I fake my death to infiltrate Moonclaw's schemes. Gore. Been planning this war for years. He needed a reason to justify it, a martyr. So I volunteered. You volunteered to die. Her stomach twisted. God, Rowan, do you have any idea what that did to me? I know, his voice cracked. I didn't want to drag you into this. But things escalated faster than I expected. Bonnie shook her head, trying to process. This is too much. Her brother was alive. Parag was a lawyer, and Drake had known. Her case swung to him. Did you know? Her voice was a blade. Drake met Hurst, air jaw tight. I knew he was working against Moonclaw's leadership. Not that he was your brother. And you didn't think to mention it. Her chest heaved. God, I don't even know what's real anymore. Rowan reached for her, but she stepped back. Bunny, I need. She dragged a shaky breath and head spinning. I need space, Bunny. Drake's voice softened, a bond pulling between them like a thread tightening. You're not alone in this. But she felt alone, betrayed, confused, angry. And underneath all of it, relief, so sharp it hurt. Her brother was alive. The war wasn't what it seemed, and her world shattered. Utterly shattered. Moni's boots pounded against the forest floor, anger burning through her veins. Hotter than wildfire. Trees blurred past her, branches snapping beneath her hurried steps. But she didn't stop, couldn't stop. Her brother's revelation echoed in her head. Garrick's betrayed, the lies, the manipulation. And fury clawed at her chest with every breath she took. He used me, used all of us. Her body thrummed with adrenaline as she stormed into Moonclaw territory, ignoring the warning glances from patrol guards. She didn't care about protocol, didn't care about the consequences. Right now there was only rage. Ugh. She shoved open the doors to the council hall. The heavy wood slamming against the wall with a crack. Conversations halted instantly. Faces turned toward her as some surprised, others wearied. And there, seated at the head of the table, was Alpha Garrick. Calm, composed. Like he wasn't the architect of her entire world. Grumbling Bonnie, he greeted, tone measured. To what do we owe this? Don't she snapped, cutting him off. Her voice echoed through the hall. I know what you did. Silence stretched thick and heavy. Garrick's brow arched. You'll need to be more specific. Oh, don't you dare play innocent, yes. You lied to me, to all of us. Rowan's alive. You used his death to start a war. Asps rippled through the room. But Garrick didn't flinch. Your brother made his choices. Simply capitalized on them. Bonnie's jaw dropped. You manipulated me. You used my grief as a weapon. How could you? I did what was necessary, Garrick said smoothly. For the good of the pack. That's bullshit. Her hands clenched into fists. You don't get to play hero when you're the villain here. The Alpha's eyes darkened, patience thinning. Watch your tone, Bonnie. Or what she challenged. You'll brand me a traitor like you did Rowan. You'll lie to everyone here just to keep your throne. Yes. Stern, true murmurs of unease. SAC members shifting uncomfortably. Garrick rose, slowly, power radiating off him. You are a traitor, he said coldly. Consorting with the enemy. Sleeping with the Blood Fang Alpha. Bonnie's face flushed hot. That's not its treason, Garrick snapped. Then, treason has consequences. The weight of the room shifted. Wolves moving, circling her. Bonnie's pulse spiked. No. Seize her, Garrick ordered. Bonnie urged her wolf forward, fighting for control. His hands grabbed for her arms. She twisted, elbowing one warrior in the face, ducking another swipe. There were too many. Heart-racing, breath short. Then chaos exploded. Blur of motion, a flash of auburn hair. Liam. He barreled into the fray with a growl, knocking wolves aside with practiced ease. Move, he barked, yanking Bonnie back. You really know how to pick a fight, huh? And not the time for jokes, she gasped, dodging another grab. Oh, I live for bad timing, Liam quipped, dragging her toward the exit. Hold on, they burst through the doors, shifting mid-run. Liam's wolf form sleek and fast, tawny silver-gray fur, shimmering under the moonlight. Paws pounded against the ground as they raced through the trees, branches whipping past. Shouts echoed behind them, but they didn't stop. Couldn't stop. Not tonight, not now. They didn't slow. Until the trees thinned, and the safety of Blood Fang's border loomed ahead. Connie shifted back, collapsing against the tree trunk. Chest heaving, lungs burning. Sweat matted her hair, blood trickling from a cut on her arm. Liam shifted beside her, raking a hand through his hair. Hell of a night there. She shot him a glare. Remind me to never go rogue with you again. Oh, please, you loved it. He grinned, but his eyes softened. You okay? No, she admitted, wiping her face. Thanks for saving me. Anytime, sweetheart. Liam winked, wouldn't let them touch you. Before she could retort, footsteps approached. Familiar heavy hymn. Drake emerged from the trees, his gaze locking onto hers immediately. Anger simmered beneath his calm exterior. What the hell were you thinking? Bonnie bristled. Nice to see you too. You went back alone into hostile territory. His jaw clenched. Do you have a death wish? I had to confront Garrick. You risked your life, and you're not my keeper, she shot back. Liam whistled. Yikes, should I step out or grab popcorn? Shut up, Liam, both of them snapped in unison. Liam held up his hands. Geez, fine. Drake's gaze didn't soften. Ew. Could have died. I didn't, she retorted. Voice softer now because of him. She nodded at Liam. Drake's eyes flicked to his bait, attention thick. Yeah, I noticed. And then it happened. The air shifted. Warmth pooled in Bonnie's chest. Hot, intense, confusing. Her wolf still then purred. Wait. Her gaze darted between Drake's dark intensity and Liam's easy warmth, and something clicked. A pull toward both of them. Not just Drake. Not just the bond she'd fought with him for days. No, her breath hitched. This isn't possible. Liam's smirk faded. Once he stopped, eyes widening. Oh shit, Drake's face darkened. No, yes, Liam said, stunned. Oh, hell yes, Bonnie shook her head, heart pounding. Two mates, that doesn't happen. It is happening, Drake growled, jaw-eyed. Liam blinked. So I'm her mate too, he grinned. Best day ever. Bonnie glared at him, not helping. Oh, I think I'm helping just fine, Liam winked. Gotta say, Bond wasn't expecting a triad bond. But I'm not complaining. Her head spun. Two mates to bonded connections. One fiery and teasing, the other dark and possessive. Her wolf basked, in both energies tugging her toward them. No, she said, backing away, this is too much. I didn't sign up for this soap opera. Drake's gaze softened. Bonnie, I need space. She turned, running a hand through her hair. Her body hummed with confusion. Heat curling under her skin. Two mates, her wolf purred, smug as hell. Oh gods, Bonnie thought, heart racing. What the hell? Bonnie's legs ached, lungs burning, as she sprinted through the darkened forest, branches clawing at her skin. Her wolf urged her to shift, to run faster. Adrenaline alone kept her moving. Moon claws hunting us. A thought drummed through her head. Dread knotting in her chest. Drake ran ahead. Muscles coiled, his movements fluid and purposeful. Liam flanked her side, breathless, grinning like they were on some grand adventure. Typical keep up on. Liam called, dodging a tree, with grace she envied. You're slower than I remember. She shot him a glare, though it lacked heat. Bite me, oh I'd love to, he quipped, flashing a grin. But now's probably not the time. A howl split the air behind them, long, echoing, chilling. Her pulse spiked. For close, Drake slowed just enough to glance back. We're cutting through the ridge, he barked. Quicker, let's expose. You surely amassed, adjusting pace. The last time you said that we nearly fell off a cliff. Do you have a better idea? Yali and Bunny gasped, run for sass later. They veered, left the terrain growing rockier. Every breath was fire, every step a fight. Her muscles screamed in protest, but she pushed on. Survival was priority. Processing the whirlwind of emotions could wait. Drake's jaw was clenched, eyes distant. Guilt clung to him like a second skin. He'd barely spoken since the triad bond revelation. And Bonnie didn't know whether to scream at him or something else entirely. Her gaze slid to Liam. Sweaty, heart streak, yet still radiating that devil-make air. Charm. His grin was a bomb against the panic clawing at her. You doing okay, he asked, voice slow but laced with genuine concern. You've got that. I'm about to punch something, look. Probably, she shot back, but her lips stuck upward. Glad to see you haven't lost your spark. His gaze softened. We'll get through this, Bond. I've got you. Something in his tone, steadfast, reassuring, wrapped around her, grounding her in a way she hadn't expected. Why is this getting more complicated? Another howl rang out. Drake's head snapped toward the sound. Her gaining, Yalia muttered. Thanks for the cheerful update. I kept moving until the trees opened into a narrow clearing. Drake paused, scanning their surroundings. We rest here 10 minutes. Bonnie collapsed onto a fallen log, chest heaving. Sweat clung to her skin, hair sticking to her neck. 10 minutes feels like too long. They're tracking us, Drake said, tone grim. But we pushed too hard, you collapsed, not worth it. Her wolf, exhausted but alert, growled softly. Mate protecting us, it hummed. Honey ignored that. Too much, too fast. Liam plopped down beside her. See, told you this would be a blast. You have a twisted idea of fun. That's what makes me irresistible, he winked. Drake glared at him. This isn't a joke. It's life, Liam shot back. Sometimes you gotta laugh or go insane. Bonnie sighed, rubbing her face. Gods help me. I'm stuck with both of them. Night settled. Thick around them, stars peeking through the canopy overhead. The crackle of a small fire provided warmth. Shadows dancing across their faces. Drake sat on the other side, gaze locked on the flames. Distant, Bonnie watched him from across the flickering light. His tension palpable. Guilt carved into every line of his face. Liam nudged her. Brooding suits him, doesn't it? Shut up, she whispered. But a smile ghosted her lips. Liam shifted closer. The clothes he radiated off him. His familiar scent. Leather pine, something uniquely him, curling around her. His gaze dropped to her lips, the spark igniting between them. I hate seeing you like this, he said quietly. You deserve more than guilt and running for your life. Her breath caught. Liam, I know you're overwhelmed. His thumb brushed her cheek. Gentle, tempting. But you feel this too, don't you? Bonnie's heart thudded. Rational thoughts scattered. Warmth pooled low in her stomach. Werewolf leaning into the connection. Liam, her rival, her mate, looked at her like she was the only thing that mattered. And God's helper. She wanted to forget the chaos just for a moment. So, she kissed him. It was heat and fire. Lips colliding with urgency born of confusion and need. His arms wrapped around her, pulling her close. The world narrowed, 2 heartbeats and breathed him. But then Bonnie, her eyes flew open. Drake stood there. Tension rolling off him like a storm ready to break. Jealousy burned in his gaze, possessive, wild. Liam pulled back, smirking. Jealous is not a good look on you, mate. Drake crossed the distance into strides, yanking Bonnie to her feet. His mouth crashed against hers, rougher, demanding. Where Liam's kiss had been warmth, Drake's was a wildfire. Consuming, claiming her body betrayed her. Melting into him. Damn them both. Werewolf howled with satisfaction. Both hours, confusion and desire swirled. Tangled threads she couldn't unravel. Pulling back breathless, she stared at them both. Liam cocky, but protective, Drake intense and unwavering. Hey, this is insane, she gasped. We can't. You can, Drake said gruffly. We just don't want to admit it. Liam grinned, admit it. Bonnie, you like the attention. Her heart pounded. How can I love both of you? Silence stretched until Liam quipped, easy. I'm irresistible and he's well tolerable. Drake growled, but Bonnie got help or laughed. Her head was a mess, her heart a battlefield. Bye. Her wolf purred. Chapter for Wardrummers and Dark Choices. Annie's lungs burned as she sprinted through the woods, branches scraping at her arms and legs. Her wolf paced restlessly within her, growling with frustration. None of that compared to the rot Anik. Squeezing her chest. Rowan. They took Rowan. The Moon-class patrol had ambushed them hours ago. Hast organized ready, and Rowan, stubborn to the end, had held them off just long enough to get her away. They'd taken him. Her brother. Drake ran beside her, jawed eyes focused ahead. Liam trailed behind, keeping pace, despite the exhaustion wearing at all of them. Annie's mind replayed it over and over. The clash of bodies, Rowan's shout. A sickening thud as they dragged him away. This is my fault. He brought this word to their doorstep, she gasped. Slowing to a halt, hands braced on her knees. Her pulse thundered in her ears. God, if I hadn't stopped. Drake's voice was rough but steady. This isn't on you. Whoa, isn't it? She straightened, eyes blazing. I charged into Moon-class territory. I provoked them. Now they have my brother, he's paying for my mistakes. Liam stepped forward, placing a hand on her shoulder. You didn't ask for any of this. Garrick's been playing everyone from the start. He's the bastard to blame. Tears pricked at her eyes, but she blinked them away. No time for that. They're using him as bait. They know I'll come for him. Which is exactly what they want, Drake said grimly. Charging him will get you killed, and him. Connie clenched her fists, the weight of guilt crushing her. Wolf howled in frustration. Family protect him. But how could she protect anyone when she was unraveling? We'll get him back, Liam promised. We always find a way. She wanted to believe him. Thought she wanted to, but dread coiled in her stomach. What if this time they didn't? A campfire crackled, casting warm light across the clearing that did nothing to thaw the chills settling. Deep in Bonnie's bones. She sat with her knees drawn up, arms wrapped tightly around them. Rawr! Her mind raced with plans, half-formed strategies, worst-case scenarios that gnawed at her nerves. Across from her, Liam fiddled with a blade of grass, glancing at her with that same easy smile that didn't quite reach his eyes. Tonight, you're brooding. I'm thinking, she shot back. Pretty sure that line's thinning. Bonnie sighed, rubbing her face. Everything's falling apart. Her brother in enemy hands. Polly. Playing puppet master and the Bond gods. The Bond pulling at her from two directions. Stretching her thin. And Drakey stood at the edge of the camp, staring out into the trees. Shoulders rigid. Distant closed off, pulling away. Liam noticed too. He does this, he said softly. Pushes people away when things get rough. Why, her voice cracked under the weight of exhaustion. Liam said simply he thinks he's bad for you. Ian's heart twisted. Damn it, Drake. She stood, crossing the distance. You're sulking. Not sulking, Drake muttered, not looking at her, thinking. Same thing, his lips stuck upward just for a second. Bonnie, no, she cut in. Don't you dare shut me out. Not now. His gaze finally met hers. Blue eyes shadowed with regret. I dragged you into this mess. If I'd stayed away, then what? Her voice rose. I'd still be caught in Garrick's lies. Rowan would still be captured. This isn't just on you. You don't get it, he growled. Every time you're hurt, every time you risk yourself, I feel it. I feel you breaking, and it kills me. Her breath hitched. The bond hummed between them, raw, relentless. He cares too much. Liam cleared his throat. Not to interrupt the dramatic tension. But we've got a rescue to plan. Connie glanced between them. Drake's intensity, Liam's unwavering support. The mate's choo-choo pulling at her heart. How did this happen? How can I choose, she whispered. Liam stood, sliding an arm around her waist. Who says you have to? Bonnie's chest squeezed. Confusion warred with affection. Cold tangled with longing. How can I love them both? Hey, her wolf. Knew both. Always, both, and right now. Right now they had a brother to save. Chapter 5, Rise from the Ashes. Bonnie stood at the edge of the clearing. The moonlight bathing the forest in a soft silver glow. Her heart thudded steady and strong. Far cry from the chaotic whirlwind of emotions that had consumed her. Days ago everything was clearer now. Not easier, not uncomplicated, but clearer. A bond pulsed between her, Drake and Liam. 3 distinct connections, woven into something she hadn't thought possible. It was overwhelming. And yet, there was peace and acceptance. Her gaze drifted to Drake, who stood a few feet away. His posture relaxed, but gaze sharp as ever. There was always intensity within, like a storm ready to break. But tonight it felt steady, calmer. Protective, Liam leaned against a tree beside her, flashing a crooked grin. You've got that thoughtful face again. Dangerous territory. Could say the same about you. Bonnie shot back, the warmth tugged at her lips. Ere he nudged her shoulder. So, how's it feel? How does it feel? He gestured between the 3 of them. You know this. The whole triad bond, for irresistible guys at your side. His grin widened. Your wolf's over the moon. Connie rolled her eyes, but her wolf was smug. It's a lot, but good. Liam pressed. Her gaze flicked to Drake. His expression's often just a fraction. Enough, yeah, she said, voice quieter. It's good. Drake stepped forward, voice low but steady. We're stronger like this. Bonnie nodded. It was true, she felt it. A wave of bond thrum mad with power, weaving between them, making her stronger. Faster, more her grief, her anger, even the confusion. It all settled into something solid, purposeful. Liam stretched, cracking his knuckles. All right, now that we've had our group therapy moment. What's next, boss? Bonnie blinked. Boss, he winked. Hey, you're leading this charge. They know when to follow a fierce woman. Drake's smirked. Hate to fake when you boss him around. Oh, definitely. Liam agreed, no shame. Bonnie shook her head. But affection bloomed in her chest. God help me, she thought. They really did end up with two idiots. They were her idiots, and together they were unstoppable. The cave was dim, firelight casting dancing shadows on the rocky walls. Those tired of Garrick's lies, sick of pointless war, gathered around. Faces familiar and unfamiliar alike. Watched Bonnie with expectant eyes. Warriors from both Moonclaw and Bloodfang stood side by side. One's enemies now allies with a common goal. Bonnie took a deep breath, stepping forward. No longer just the caretaker. No longer the girl burdened by grief and doubt. She was leading. We have one shot at this, she began, voice echoing through the cave. Kerwin's being held at Moonclaw's fortress. He spake pure and simple. Perk wants me to walk into a trap. Low growls rippled through the crowd. So, we don't walk in, she continued, we break in. Liam grinned, now we're talking. Drake stepped beside her, unfolding a rough map of Moonclaw territory. Main gates a no-go, too heavily guarded. We hit from the east, cliffs steep but less patrolled. Bonnie pointed to a narrow ravine marked in red. Here there's an old smuggler's tunnel abandoned, but it should get us close. Without alerting the sentries. Liam echoed. Love the confidence. Bonnie shot him a look. If you have a better plan, oh. I don't, he winked. Just enjoying the view. Someone snickered in the back. Bonnie sighed, focus. Drake's gaze swept the group. We move at dawn, quick, silent. Rowan's cell is underground, 3 guards minimum. I'll take them, Liam offered. Fast, quiet, promise not to break too many bones. Bunny nodded, good. I'll handle extraction. Drake, cover our retreat. He inclined his head, done. The cave buzzed with quiet determination. Pulse exchanged nods, ready, loyal, united. Bonnie exhaled, adrenaline already throbbing. Her brother's face burned in her mind was coming. You ready for this, Liam asked, voice softer. More than ready. Drake leaned in, voice low in her ear. We've got your back. She glanced between them. Her mates, her allies, her family. For the first time in a long time, hope burned brighter than fear. We rise, we fightin' this time. We win. And night air was crisp, carrying the tang of pine and something sharper. In anticipation, Bonnie crouched low behind a boulder, her breath steady, despite the adrenaline thrumming through her veins. Her wolf paced restlessly inside her, ready, alert. Tonight it ends. Beside her, Drake's gaze swept over the Moonclaw fortress. Stone walls looming against the moonlit sky. Guards stationed like sentinels along the perimeter. His face was all hard lines and lethal focus. Her anchor, Liam, crouched on her other side. Twirling a dagger with casual ease. So he whispered, lips quivering, on a scale of 1 to holy shit. How bad do you think this'll go? Focus, Drake muttered. I'm focused, Liam shot back. Just, adding charm to the doom and gloom. Bunny rolled her eyes. Less charm, more planning, Liam grinned. Planning's boring. I prefer improvising. Plates? Is why you get stabbed so often, Drake muttered. Hey, Bonnie cut them off, with a raised hand. Save the bickering. We've got a brother to save. The bond between the 3 of them. With shared determination, stronger together always had been. Drake nodded. Tunnel entrance is 200 feet east. We move fast, we move quiet. Fast and quiet are my middle names, Liam said. Drake gave him a look. Pawnee sighed but smiled despite herself. Can we go now? Ladies first, Liam said, gesturing grandly. To try to keep up, she shot back, slipping into the trees. The tunnel was damp air. Hey, thick with earth and old secrets. Thani L.E.D. the way, footsteps, silent heart pounding. Her mind was a whirlwind. Memories of growing up in Moonclaw, of trust shattered and lies revealed. Garrick will pay. They emerged into a narrow corridor. Beneath the fortress, voices echoed above. Guards, oblivious to the danger, creeping beneath their feet. Drake paused at a metal grate overhead. Cell blocks above, 2 guards. Liam grinned. My turn. He slipped up the ladder like a shadow, moving with silent grace. Moments later, thud. Another, a soft curse. Handled, Liam called down, and I barely broke a sweat. Bonnie climbed up after him, Drake close. Behind the cell block was dark stone walls, cold and unforgiving. Her gaze darted down the row until she saw him. Rowan, bruised, bloodied but alive. Rowan, she breathed, rushing to the bars. His head snapped up. Bonnie, what the hell? Less talking, we're rescuing, Liam said, jamming a stolen key into the lock. It clanked open, and Bonnie pulled her brother into a fierce hug. You shouldn't have come, Rowan muttered against her hair. Hearts up, she whispered. I wasn't leaving you. Touching, a cold voice drawled. They spun. Derek stood at the corridor's end, flanked by guards. Her lips curved in a cruel smile. But no one's leaving. Bonnie's wolf surged forward, snarling. You lied, she spat. You used us. I did what was necessary, Garrick said. You were too soft, too weak. His gaze flicked to Drake, and you betting the enemy. Shameful, Drake's growl rumbled deep. Tread carefully. Derek ignored him. Bonnie, you think love and loyalty win wars. I built this pack. I made you. You broke me, she shot back. I put myself back together beside her. Liam twirled his dagger. For a villain monologue, bites pow. You rehearsed that. Kill them, Garrick snapped. Chaos erupted. Bonnie ducked a blow, adrenaline surging, as she landed a punch to one guard's jaw. Drake was a force of nature, every strike precise, deadly. Liam danced through the fight, a whirlwind of blades and sass. Rowan, despite injuries, tackled a guard, gritting his teeth. You guys always bring the party. Every damn time, Liam quipped. Bonnie turned. Derek lunged. She met him head on, their bodies colliding in a tangle of fury. He was stronger, years of dominance fueling his strikes. She had something he didn't ferry. Love the bond. He pinned her, briefly sneering. You think you're better than me. No, she gasped, just smarter. She drove her knee into his ribs. He staggered. Then Drake was there, fists slamming into Garrick's face. Liam followed with a spinning kick that sent the alpha crashing to the ground. Clark groaned, bloodied and beaten. This isn't over. Bonnie knelt beside him. Voice, I said, is for you, he glared. But the fight drained from his eyes. Bonnie stood, chest heaving. Rowan grinned, wiping blood from his lip. Hell of a rescue. Told you we'd get you, she said. Drake placed a hand on her back, warm grounding. It's over, Liam grinned. So, drinks after this? Bonnie laughed, exhausted but alive. You're unbelievable. Yeah, he smirked. But you love me. Her heart swelled. Both of them. Drake's steady strength, Liam's fierce loyalty. Hers, ours, her wolf, corrected smugly. And for the first time in a long, long time, Bonnie believed it. They won. The battlefield was a mess of churned earth, splattered blood, and the sharp tang of sweat and steel. Hanging in the air, Bonnie stood amid the wreckage, chest heaving, adrenaline still coursing through her veins. Her knuckles were off, cut above her eyebrow stinging, but she barely noticed the pain. Not when the worst was over. We survived. Around her the forest echoed with the aftermath. Soft groans of the injured, murmurs of relief. The hiss of swords being sheathed. Tension that had strung every muscle in her body tight. For hours slowly unwound, leaving exhaustion in its wake. But they'd won. Drake approached, his shirt torn, dark hair damp with sweat. His gaze locked on her, concern flickering in those glacier blue eyes. You hurt, Bonnie smirked. Nothing. Permanent, he frowned, thumb brushing the blood from her cheek. Still reckless. Still standing, she shot back. A familiar laugh drew her attention. Liam sauntered over, face bruised but grinning like the devil himself. Hell of a party, he said. Remind me to RSVP no next time. Bonnie rolled her eyes. You loved it, maybe. He winked, though. I'm not a fan of getting stabbed. It rude, really hurt, chest squeezed. Affection and gratitude, tangled up in a mess of emotion. These two idiots. Roommates that stood by her through hell and back. Ours, her wolf-reminded, warm and content. Movement near the center of the field caught her gaze. Rick knelt, hands bound, face battered. His gaze was defiant, but the fight had drained from him. Around him, wolves from both moon, claw, and blood fangs stood guard. Former enemies, now united in weary truce. Bonnie stepped forward, facing her from Araltha. A man who had betrayed her, manipulated her, torn her world apart. And yet, you could have saved us all. Lot of pain, she said, voice quiet but firm. Hey, you chose pride over peace. Her lips curled. Peace built on weakness crumbles. Then it's good we built it on truth instead. Her gaze swept the gathered wolves. No more lies, no more bloodshed. A hush fell, and Rowan, limping, but alive, raised his voice. The old ways are done. We forged something better together. Soft murmurs of agreement trickled through the crowd. Bonnie exhaled, shoulders relaxing. It's over. Not without scars, physical and otherwise, but done. Drake stepped beside her, warmth radiating from his presence. You did it, we did, she thought, but didn't say it aloud. Her wolf, smug as ever, was practically preening. Liam slung an arm over her shoulders. So, drinks, I feel like we earned at least 3. Bonnie laughed, a sound she hadn't expected. Light and real. First rounds on you, he grinned. That she glanced between them. Drake's brooding intensity, Liam's easy charm. And felt something settled deep in her chest. Peace wasn't just something they brokered between packs. It was something she'd found within herself. Scarred, stronger whole, as the first rays of dawn crept over the horizon, paving the battlefield in soft gold. Bonnie stood tall, her mates flanking her. The future unwritten, but hers for the taking. And for the first time in what felt like forever. Hope didn't feel like a distant dream. It felt like home. The breeze was soft, carrying the gentle hum of laughter, and the faint scent of blooming wildflowers. Bonnie stood at the edge of the field, palms crossed as she watched a group of pups tumble over each other in the grass, their joyous yips echoing under a clear blue sky. The sun hung warm overhead, casting golden light over everything it touched. Peaceful, easy home. Her gaze tracked a particularly mischievous pup as he lunged for another's tail, missing by a hair, and face planting into a pile of leaves. He shook himself off, utterly unbothered, and Bonnie chuckled under her breath. Resilient little troublemakers. You're smiling, Drake noted from her left, his voice low, in a way that sent warmth curling through her chest. His arm brushed hers, the simple contact grounding solid. Hers, it happens, she shot back, though her grin widened. Not enough, he murmured, gaze lingering on her, like she was something worth studying, cherishing. It still undid her, how those cool blue eyes could soften just for her. On her other side, Liam flopped down onto the grass with a groan. Remind me why we let the pups use me as a jungle gym. Because you said, and I quote, kids love me, Bonnie reminded him. Yeah, before they'd decided I was a climbing structure. He winced as 2 pups bounced onto his back. Betrayal, pure betrayal. One pup tugged on his hair, and Bonnie couldn't hold back a laugh. You brought this on yourself, I'll laugh it up. Liam rode onto his side. dislodging the giggling pups. With exaggerated grunts of pain. I'm a victim here, Drake snorted. There are many things a victim isn't one of them. Bonnie's heart swelled, warmth blooming in her chest. This was what they'd fought. Her quiet mornings. After that didn't come with an edge of tension. A future. That wasn't weighed down by blood and betrayal. Where? Asked once a shadow looming large, now felt distant. A story told in a different life. Rowan yelled, but still limping slightly, strolled over. Nodding at them. They wearing you out, Hawthorne, Liam protested. I'm a prime specimen of endurance. Sure, Rowan said dryly, then turned to Bonnie. You okay? She smiled. Yeah, better than okay. And she meant it. A bond that linked her to Drake and Liam. Grummed gently beneath her skin. Comforting, constant. Not a weight but a tether. A promise. Drake reached over, threading his fingers through hers. No words, just that simple grounding touch that said, I've got you always. Liam, never one to be left out, leaned against her other side. So, post-war life. Not bad, he smirked. I mean, I'm still prettier than both of you combined, but... Hey. Talking, Drake muttered. And I'll shove you in the river. Liam grinned, tilting his head back to soak up the sun. Honestly, this is nice. Weird but nice. Bonnie glanced at them both. Drake steady and fierce, Liam wild and warm. And felt her chest tighten with gratitude. Her mates, her family. A pup tripped near her feet, scrambling up to look at her with wide eyes. Bonnie crouched, truffling his ears. Careful little one. The pup licked her, hand-tail wagging furiously before bounding off to rejoin the chaos. Bonnie stood glancing up at the sky. Clear, endless, full of promise. Her past might have been a battlefield, but her future was this laughter in the air. Warm hands holding hers. Love unexpected, fierce and wholly hers. Home is in a place she thought, leaning into her mates. It's who you stand with when the storm passes. And under that peaceful sky, with hearts steady and scars worn like medals, Bonnie knew one thing for certain. She was exactly where she was meant to be. The end.